Republican Congressman Dave Kemp of Michigan is the Ways and Means Committee chairman today. Welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you for allowing us to come into this magnificent place.
Yes. Well, welcome. Glad you're here.
Yeah. We want to talk about the fiscal cliff and where we are in terms of who is going to offer what to break this you first dialogue that's taking place in the White House. How should they get past that?
Well, I think the real issue is about middle-class jobs, and that's why we think it's so important that we have fundamental and comprehensive tax reform as part of this, because it really is about getting our economy growing again so that middle-class people can get work again.
But you've got
obviously
problems.
Being from Michigan, that's a big concern.
But as you know, the Democrats say they're looking after the middle class, you know, and that because you won't raise taxes on the wealthy, you put at risk the taxes, a reduction for the middle class.
Well, we're still really, I think, coming out of the recession. We haven't seen the kind of growth we need to see. And if you raise taxes, we've had a number of independent analysts look at that and say, if you do that, it's going to hit middle-class jobs, hundreds of thousands of middle-class jobs.
So we know that the Speaker and the President are drafting a way to get out of this fiscal cliff, but it will ultimately, presumably, include some sort of tax reform in the future. Are you already drafting legislation?
We haven't drafted yet, but we're very close. And we had about 20 hearings over the last 2 years, and we're ready to go. And obviously having a framework where there's some revenue raised through comprehensive tax reform is the way to go, because then you get the kind of growth and job creation that we need.
So when the President said today the corporate tax rate, is that encouraging? Does that move the process forward?
I think you need to do both corporate and individual, because corporate isn't really as much of the economy as it used to be. It's still important, but we're not competitive internationally, and we need to do that. And obviously individual is important so that we can get the kind of growth we need. So we really need to do both. So it is encouraging that he's interested in doing that, but we need to do that as well.
Are you sick of everybody blaming everybody else? I blame you, you blame me, and nothing ever gets done.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there is a path forward here, and the path forward is to bring some revenue forward with the framework to do tax reform.
Everybody says that, but do you believe that a Democrat can have a great idea as we sit in this beautiful, in your office, so to speak?
Well,
can a Democrat have a good idea, and from a Republican vice versa?
Absolutely. We've passed a number of bipartisan bills, if you look at all the trade legislation, but let me just say, this is the 5th president I've served with. And when in a divided government, when presidents want an agreement, they can get an agreement. And so it really is going to be important for the leadership of the president.
But people also say when a speaker wants an agreement, he can get an agreement. They also are saying, according to the Washington Post this morning, that the speaker has more room to maneuver than he might have had 2 years ago when they were trying to do a grand bargain, because some of the Republican members know they have to deal.
Well, I think we're all interested in the good of the country, and I think that's the most thing that people need to keep in mind. And the Speaker, I think, has really led with his statement
with respect to being in your room, we have to say goodbye. Thank you so much.